Ever wondered how two communities with completely different histories and lifestyles interact in rural America? The relationship between Amish and Black communities reveals surprising complexities that challenge assumptions about race, religion, and rural life. Historical context. The first documented Black Amish person was Moses Shirley, born into slavery in Virginia in 1791, who later became a respected Amish minister in Ohio. However, integration wasn't always welcomed. In the late 1802 and early 1902, many Amish churches adopted formal segregation policies that prohibited African Americans from joining their communities. This historical tension shaped early relationships between the communities. Geographic proximity. Amish settlements are concentrated in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Iowa, Illinois, and Kansas, with others in Wisconsin, Maine, Missouri, and Minnesota. These rural areas often overlap with historically Black farming communities and small towns. While Amish seek isolated areas that support their lifestyle, demographic realities mean they frequently live near or adjacent to African American communities, creating natural opportunities for interaction through shared rural environments and agricultural economies. Economic interactions. Approximately 12,000 of the 40,000 dairy farms in the United States are Amish-owned, and many Amish work in rural factories operated by non-Amish persons. These economic necessities create workplace interactions between Amish and Black community members. There have been reports of Amish communities collaborating with Black communities on projects such as rebuilding efforts after natural disasters or working together on agricultural endeavors. Business transactions and employment relationships form the most common points of contact between these communities. Religious differences. The Amish think that everyone is basically the same because everyone is made in God's image. They talk about how important it is for everyone to be humble, kind, and love each other, no matter what race or country they are from. However, religious practices differ significantly between communities. Black Amish worship services reflect cultural mixing, developing their own gospel music style that combines Amish and African American musical traditions alongside traditional Amish hymns. Most Black Christian communities embrace modern worship styles with electric instruments and contemporary music, contrasting with traditional Amish hymns sung in German. The Amish read prayers and sing in standard German at church services, while Black churches predominantly use English and incorporate African American spiritual traditions. These religious differences create distinct worship experiences that reflect each community's cultural heritage. Cultural barriers. The distinctive use of three different languages serves as a powerful conveyor of Amish identity, with Pennsylvania Dutch used in daily conversation, English for business transactions, and Standard German for church services. This linguistic complexity creates communication barriers with neighboring communities. The Amish keep a certain amount of distance from the English world in order to protect their religious views and way of life. They view the outside world as a source of potential distractions and temptations that could disrupt their close-knit communities. This separation affects all relationships with non-Amish neighbors, regardless of race. Amish culture includes unique practices that might seem unusual to outsiders, such as faceless dolls made without facial features, rooted in beliefs about humility and avoiding vanity. The plain dress, horse and buggy transportation, and rejection of modern technology create visible cultural differences that can seem foreign to neighboring communities. These barriers aren't racially motivated but affect all interactions with the outside world. Shared challenges. Both Amish and many Black rural communities face similar economic pressures in modern America. Rising land prices are causing some families to seek new settlements in different regions, affecting both Amish farmers and Black agricultural families. Small-scale farming becomes increasingly difficult against corporate agriculture. In the last quarter of the 20th century, a growing number of Amish men left farm work and started small businesses because of increasing pressure on small-scale farming. Similarly, many Black rural families have transitioned from agricultural work to other employment due to economic pressures. Both communities often lack access to adequate health care in rural areas. The Amish are unlikely to seek medical attention for minor aches or illnesses and often seek healing outside Orthodox medical circles, while rural Black communities frequently face healthcare access issues due to facility closures and distance. Educational challenges also affect both groups, though differently. Amish operate more than 850 parochial schools for some 24,000 Amish children, with most having one room and one teacher responsible for all 8 grades, while rural Black communities often struggle with underfunded public schools and limited educational resources. Educational approaches. The curriculum in Amish schools includes reading, arithmetic, spelling, grammar, penmanship, history, and geography, with both English and German taught. Science and sex education are missing from the curriculum, as are sports, dances, cafeterias, clubs, bands, choruses, computers, television, guidance counselors, and principals. This contrasts sharply with most Black community educational values that typically emphasize higher education, technology integration, and comprehensive curricula, including science and college preparation programs. The Amish claim that educating their children beyond 8th grade is a violation of their religious beliefs. While education has historically been viewed in Black communities as essential for overcoming systemic barriers, until about 1950, almost all Amish children attended small, rural, non-Amish schools. But then school consolidation and mandatory schooling beyond 8th grade caused Amish opposition. This led to separate educational systems that reduced daily interaction between Amish and Black children. The different educational philosophies create distinct life trajectories. While Amish education prepares children for agricultural and traditional craft work within the community, Black educational traditions often emphasize preparation for diverse career paths and integration into broader American society. These contrasting approaches reflect deeper cultural differences about engagement with modern society and can affect intergenerational relationships between communities. Community events. There are instances of Amish communities interacting with Black communities or individuals, demonstrating their commitment to treating everyone with respect and kindness. However, regular social interaction remains limited due to lifestyle differences. The Amish calendar includes both shared national holidays with non-Amish neighbors and their own additions. Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and the 4th of July are barely noticed, while Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday slips by unnoticed in many rural enclaves. This selective holiday observance reflects their separation from American political and social movements, including civil rights commemorations important to Black communities. In some cases, Amish families have adopted Black children, providing them with a loving and supportive environment. Research shows Amish families in Holmes County, Ohio, have adopted Black children, with stories of single women adopting African American children and an Amish bishop's sister adopting 4 biracial children. Agricultural fairs, farmers markets, and rural community events provide neutral spaces where both communities interact commercially and socially. Emergency situations like natural disasters, barn fires, or medical crises sometimes bring communities together for mutual aid, transcending cultural boundaries through shared humanitarian concerns. Church-sponsored community service projects occasionally create collaborative opportunities, though theological differences mean joint religious services are rare. The practical nature of rural life, sharing equipment, helping with harvests during illness, or providing transportation during emergencies, creates informal networks that cross community lines based on neighborly assistance rather than social integration. Modern changes. The Black Amish population now numbers several hundred people across Ohio, Indiana, and Pennsylvania's communities, with the overall Amish population growing from 198 2000 to more than 370,000 today. Interracial marriages have played a vital role in building Black Amish communities, creating unique cultural blends that combine traditional Amish ways with African American heritage. In the mid-1900s, the Amish began to re-examine their segregation policies, and many communities began to welcome African Americans into their churches. This represents significant progress from earlier exclusionary practices. Modern economic pressures affect relationships between communities. In many Amish settlements, especially the larger ones, farmers are now a minority, with construction work and woodworking becoming widespread. This occupational diversification increases contact with non-Amish workers, including Black community members in construction and manufacturing. Adults can join through adoption, with Amish families adopting children from different backgrounds, including African American children who grow up deep in Amish culture, speak Pennsylvania Dutch, and follow Amish traditions. Technology changes create new dynamics. While Amish communities maintain technology restrictions, the increasing use of phones for business and occasional internet access for commerce creates more connection points with broader society, including Black-owned businesses and services. Demographic shifts in rural America affect both communities, as young people from both groups sometimes migrate to urban areas for economic opportunities. The remaining rural populations become smaller and more interdependent, potentially increasing cooperation despite cultural differences. Climate change and agricultural challenges also create shared concerns that transcend cultural boundaries. Future dynamics. Black Amish communities show how cultural adaptation and preservation work together smoothly, staying rooted in traditional Amish values while incorporating aspects of African American heritage. While the Amish are known for their conservative beliefs, they're also open to welcoming individuals from different cultural backgrounds who wish to join their community. The future relationship between Amish and Black communities will likely be shaped by several factors. Rural demographic changes continue as both communities face decisions about maintaining traditional lifestyles versus adapting to economic pressures. The presence of Black Amish individuals serves as a powerful reminder of the community's capacity for inclusion and adaptation. Black Amish people follow the same practices as their white counterparts, Xarius. They dress plainly, limit technology use, and maintain strong bonds with community and family, demonstrating that racial integration is possible within traditional frameworks when based on shared religious commitment rather than social interaction. Climate change and agricultural sustainability may create more collaboration opportunities as both communities face similar environmental challenges requiring collective responses. Water management, soil conservation, and sustainable farming practices affect all rural communities, regardless of cultural background. Economic development in rural areas increasingly requires cooperation between different community groups. Tourism, farmers markets, and artisan crafts create opportunities for economic partnership while respecting cultural boundaries. As we look to the future, we see a gradual shift towards greater acceptance and integration within the broader Amish community. However, the fundamental tension remains between Amish separation principles and broader social integration that characterizes American civil rights progress. The relationship will likely continue evolving gradually, influenced more by practical necessities and individual relationships than by broad social policy changes, reflecting the decentralized nature of both Amish governance and rural Black community organization. Healthcare collaboration. Both communities face unique healthcare challenges that sometimes create opportunities for cooperation and mutual understanding. The Amish typically avoid commercial health insurance and often rely on community aid plans to help families with medical costs, while many rural Black communities struggle with healthcare access due to hospital closures and insurance limitations. Some American hospitals, starting in the mid-1992, created special outreach programs to assist both Amish and underserved rural populations, including predominantly Black communities. These programs recognize that rural healthcare delivery requires cultural sensitivity and community-specific approaches. The Amish preference for natural healing leads them to vitamins, homeopathic remedies, health foods, and specialized clinics, creating healthcare networks that sometimes serve diverse rural populations. Traditional healing knowledge in both communities occasionally overlaps, particularly regarding herbal remedies and holistic approaches to wellness. During health crises like the COVID-19 pandemic, rural healthcare resources become strained, requiring communities to work together regardless of cultural differences. Emergency medical situations often transcend social boundaries, with neighbors helping neighbors during medical emergencies or transportation needs to distant healthcare facilities. Youth perspectives. Younger generations in both communities navigate these relationships differently than their elders, though within distinct cultural frameworks. Amish youth during Rumspringa periods may have more contact with diverse communities, including interactions with Black peers through work opportunities or social settings outside traditional Amish environments. However, the vast majority of Amish youth ultimately choose to join the church and maintain traditional separation practices. Those who do interact across cultural lines during their youth often carry more nuanced understanding of racial diversity back into their communities, potentially influencing future community attitudes. Black youth in rural areas near Amish settlements grow up with awareness of these distinctive religious communities, sometimes developing curiosity about alternative lifestyles that reject modern consumer culture. Social media and increased